Hey guys, welcome back. It's your favorite camp of the Limp, and I am here with what I know a lot of you are ready to see, which is part one of my actual playthrough series covering DVG's Valkyrie, which is getting ready to come to Kickstarter here in just about a week, I think. So I know a lot of you guys want to see what the game's about. Make sure you check my overview video out if you haven't already. It goes over the basics of the game. We're going to get into the rest of the specifics now when we're actually playing, but I'm not going to go over every single little tidbit as we're going, since I did cover a lot of that in the overview. One other thing, some people have said a few things about sound quality. This one will have a little degraded sound quality because I am doing it handheld instead of static camera, which means I don't get to use my high-end mic. But this way I actually get to zoom in and show you guys what's going on. Also, I will superimpose digital images up in the corner here of some of the game cards that are off screen, so I don't have to worry about showing you guys every little piece as we go. Now, I told you we are going to be doing this scenario. Let me go to the card here, with the exception that I'm playing the U.S. forces because I want to. And actually, I really think it'd be better if I played the Russian forces. Like, it'd be easier because the forces are equal, except the Russian forces have the better Valkyrie. Theirs has 15 power and a shoulder-mounted cannon, artillery cannon that just crushes face. But mine, the Timberwolf, a decent Valkyrie. I keep wanting to say Hager. I told you. Valkyrie, it does have a heavy cannon and a heavy laser and a shoulder-mounted rocket system. Now, it's a little shorter range. It only goes out to 12, but it is still indirect fire. And these cubes here represent the ammo that I had mentioned to you guys previously. So I only get to fire this thing 4 times, which I'm telling you, all 4 of that's going to be directly at Baba Yaga. And this is going to be my power up here, which is only 10 compared to its 15. Look at all these cubes that it gets to spend. So now my forces are already set up on the board. Before we get into the forces, though, I am going to mention the terrain. Like I mentioned in the overview, the terrain, for the most part, will mirror each side. All right, so if you cut the board in half, it's going to be mirrored on each side, with the exception that bigger pieces, 2 and 3 hex terrain, can be rotated around. So like with your single pieces here, this crater, for example, the crater is in 7/8. So crater here in 7/8, crater here in 7/8, right? That's how it's going to be. Each piece is going to match. Here, the lake is in 3/4, so there's going to be a lake here in 3/4, but it's not set up in the exact same way. It's pivoted around. It would have to be like this to exactly mirror that side. So it doesn't have to be perfectly mirrored, but for the most part mirrored. That way you can't jinx them to give an advantage. You can see the hills here are in 9/10, but only one hex has to be actually in 9/10, and then you can rotate it around. So if you wanted to, you could have it all the way up here in the flank instead of down around. It just depends. You can roll a D10 to determine, or a D6, however you want to determine it. You can just lay it out yourself. For me, I find it's just neat just to see which way it kind of lands on the board and just go with it. And of course, we got our trees. So as far as my forces are concerned, I've got a little strategy, because I told you guys I've been playing this off camera a few times. I really want to make sure I do well with it. And I found in my games that the flanks are important. They're so important because they give you extra attack dice. Both flanks do that. And it's the forces that have the most control. So I was thinking about it. These carriers carry infantry. So I want to shoot my carriers forward into the flanks and drop my infantry. So I'm doubling the amount of forces that I have in here, because the AI cards, which are these white ones, they don't have backs on them yet. They do tell the AI to push on the flanks a fair amount. So the AI will try to push there and then kind of cut into the breakthrough to come after my forces. So I'm hoping with that I can maintain numerical superiority in these areas. So my assault forces, because I got the same amount going for each flank. I've got a tank and 2 strikers, top and bottom. both pushing up into each one of the flanks so the strikers can drop their infantry. Because when I played it off camera, I had some of the strikers come into the breakthrough, and it's like, well, the infantry aren't doing me a whole lot of good there, but they can do me a lot of good up there in the flanks. As far as my assault forces are concerned, of course, got my Jaeger, the Timberwolf. Damn it, I did again. My Valkyrie, the Timberwolf, here ready to kind of skirt this lake, although it can walk across the lake if it really wants to. Possibly going to try to use this hill as cover. If I'm like down over here and then the enemy swoops this way, I can tuck in the Valkyrie so they can't be firing at me, and then try to gun their Valkyrie down. One tank just extra as support, and then of course my artillery piece I've got sitting here just to fire at targets of opportunity. Whatever happens, happens. Now you'll notice the AI forces aren't set up. They kind of look set up, but they're not set up. I have them arranged according to what they are. Their assault forces, their maneuver forces, which are their strikers, what are their strikers called? They're BTRs, all right? They're BTRs. I'm going to call them strikers too. Their infantry carriers, their artillery piece, and then their Valkyrie is also considered support. When you look way over here, up in the top right, it says support. So their Valkyrie actually is going to start in this back row because it's a support Valkyrie, not an assault Valkyrie like mine is. Now, with player forces, you can choose wherever you want to set your stuff up, but this is how the AI does. So when we're looking at these tanks, just pull them out of the way, what we're going to do is roll a D10, and that's going to tell us which hex in this front row these tanks are going to go in. So we're going to start counting at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10. So let's grab our little D10 here, and let's roll. First tank gets a 7, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's where our first tank is going to go, and we place a dust trail behind it. And since we are on the white turn, I'm going to put it on its white side. If I can get it there, its white side to signify that it hasn't gone yet. And then once it does go, I flip it over to its black side. Now, the cool part about this is these dust trails, they give you a defense die for that number there in the bottom. And that, the distance there at the top, 2, 4, is how far they travel from their originating hex, not how far they travel total. So just as a quick example, because I know I'm kind of going a little faster, let's say we have a tank here and it gets 5 hexes of movement, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And it ends here, but it's traveled 5 hexes. It would only get a 0 to 1 dust marker, providing it no extra bonus, because it's only 1 hex away from its originating hex. So you can go either 0 to 1 as a dust trail. Let me grab one and show you guys. There's 0 to 1, and there's the 5 plus. So you can have a 0 to 1, a 2 to 4, which gives you 1 defense die, or a 5 plus, which gives you 2 defense die. So that means how far you have traveled from your originating hex, not how far you've traveled. Now, when it comes to the start, every force just starts with a 2-4, so a single defensive die down next to them, and then it'll just, based on what their actions are. These over here are the ones that I've made just to kind of bulk it up a little bit. Like I said, keep in mind, prototype pieces, so there's not a whole lot of counters in the game, but there will be, obviously, in the games that you guys have. All right, so let's roll. Where's my die? For our second tank, let's see where he's going to go. He's going 8, so he's going to be 1 higher. They're going to be pushing hard up here to the north. I can see that already. Let's roll for our last one, see where he's going to be. 2, so he's going to be down here towards the bottom. Let's pull these out of the way. He'll be right there. And we'll place a dust trail with him. Now we can do our maneuver forces, which are going to be in this row of hexes. All right, so the middle row. Let's roll for our first one. We get a 9, so he's going to be all the way up here at the top. Man, they're going to have a lot of guys up in the north. I'm going to have to worry about getting overrun up there. Second one, 7. Yeah, they're all going north. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. We'll place a dust trail with him. Roll for the next one. 8. Good grief. They are all up north. This die is rolling hot. All right, come on. There we go. Dust trail. And the last one, another 8. You gotta be kidding me. All right, so we'll hit him with that. Put another dust trail with him. And now we're going to do the same thing for these guys here at the back. We'll do for their paladin or their artillery piece. It's a set of numbers. 3. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3. It will be in this hex. And units that can camouflage do start camouflage. So this is going to have a camo marker with it. When it comes to camouflage, that means that either if it's my units, the AI ignores them, or if it's an AI unit, I can't attack it. So it's effectively hidden from the game right now. Now let's do for their Valkyrie. Their Valkyrie got an 8, so he's going to be up top too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Way up here at the top. Put our dust trail there behind him. And we have officially set up the forces. Good grief, look at this. All right, I know right off the bat they're going to be pushing hard on this flank and then probably cutting down here. So I need to keep that in mind. And that's actually a bad spot for me for that Valkyrie to be way up there in the corner because he has a extremely far range. I think his max range is, 24 hexes, which if you guys did not see it, make sure you check on Facebook. I just saw Dan had posted up the fact that they are going to be doing a big map for this game. That's one thing I was hoping they would do. And it's this huge neoprene mat. I forget how many inches. It's something like 72 inches or 70 inches by 59 inches. Don't quote me on that. It's in that ballpark. All right, somewhere in that range. But they even have this listed down like on it, the flanks, the support, the breakthrough on that big neoprene mat. And it's just multiples of those. So you'll have flank, breakthrough, flank, breakthrough, or however they've got it set up. But they've even got it set up that if you've got multiple neoprene mats, you could line them all up and have this huge Valkyrie battle just going on and just conduct a whole campaign down at tactical level. That would just be freaking sweet as hell. Just go check it out. It's like a 3-minute video on Facebook. It's just awesome as hell. Huge map that Dan and the guys over at DVG Games have come up with. Okay, so we're getting ready to start. We've got everyone set up and good to go. This battle is going to last for 6 turns, and it's random for the initiative, so we'll roll off on that on each turn. There is no route, which route just basically means if your forces or their forces get below a certain level, the remaining forces will start to try to pull off the board. Although I wonder if you can voluntarily retreat your forces if they haven't routed. I don't remember reading anything about that in the rulebook, but I have to ask DVG about it. Like if you're playing a campaign game and you're getting raffle stomped, can you decide to pull out with the rest of your forces? I don't see why you couldn't. I mean, it's your campaign, play it however you want. But at the end of the game, you will total up the supply values, and then the differences will tell you whether or not you did good, bad, or indifferent. All right, so we are all set. I'll tell you what, we'll do 1 to 5, 6 to 10, and have that be the initiative instead of me having to roll this thing twice. All right, who gets to go first? They get to go first. Of course they do. This thing roll hot the whole time until it's time for initiative. All right. Now, the way it's going to work when you're doing your AI is you'll have AI decks. So this is my AI deck for vehicles, which infantry are listed under vehicles as well. And then this is my AI deck for the Valkyries. Like I said, prototype copies, they don't have backs on them yet. All right. Just bear with me. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. So you will draw from your first deck, you'll conduct your initiative, and then when you draw again for the AI on their next activation, you'll draw from the next AI deck down the line. And then you'll keep doing that until you're out of your AI decks, and then you'll start the beginning and keep going on through. So, and yes, if you run out of cards, you just shuffle them up and go again. Now we will draw for our first AI encounter, and it's going to be a maneuver force, which is going to be their strikers, which are all their strikers are up north. Oh, so horrible. All right, move towards the closest flank. I told you, they gun for the flanks. Attack the closest player. They're not going to be able to attack. If do not attack, attack closest player. All right, so attack closest player in the flank, and then if there's no one in the flank, it gives them a chance to attack someone out of the flank. This is just going to have them move, and just from what I was doing, all right, randomly speaking, if I had a circumstance where the AI is telling me, okay, maneuver force, do whatever, if there was a maneuver force that was in a perfect position to do that, I would just pick that force to do it. Otherwise, I roll a d10 to determine. So we will do a d10 to determine. Since we've got 4, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if it's 9, 10, we'll roll again. And it's going to be 1, 2. So this one's going to move towards the closest flank, which we do know is this way. Now, looking at our die, we know that they're movement dice. They're wheeled movement, and they get 3 dice. They may enter a water terrain hex by paying +1 movement cost. And let's see if that will end up being beneficial for them. All right, so we've got 3 maneuver dice. We're going to roll all of these and see how many arrows they get. Sorry, I got my dice tray way over here to the side. All right, they got 4 arrows, so he gets 4 hexes of movement, or 4 movement points. It was this one. He could go 1, 2, 3, 4. He could get to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he'd be stopping in the lake. And he's gunning up this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it doesn't matter which one he goes to. So we will put him there. Take his little dust trail. And as I said before, it's how far you end away determines your dust trail. So this is his starting hex. He's 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away. So he is using this 2 to 4 dust trail. But you guys can see I have flipped it over now to its black side. So we know this guy's activated. There's no need to worry about his attack because there's none of my guys anywhere near his range, which is 3 hexes. Okay. So I was thinking about what I was going to do with my forces, and I was thinking about maybe activating my Valkyrie, and yeah, see, I didn't say Jaeger that time, my Valkyrie, and pushing him forward. But if I do push him forward, that's going to make him the closest target for all of those guys, and there's a lot of AI cards that operate off of closest target, and I don't want them firing at him just yet and putting damage through, especially because like they're artillery can do it. Their Valkyrie can put his artillery cannon on it and start pushing through damage. I want to try to avoid that for now if possible. So I think I'm going to try to gain control of this lower flank because I don't think I'm going to be able to hold that flank. All their forces are up there. So what I'm thinking as a strategy, right, is bring these forces down, push these over, gain control of this flank, and I can leave infantry there, and then I can do kind of a sweeping action in this direction and keep them pinned in that corner because they're going to own that. I don't have enough forces anywhere near there to take out all their stuff, but I can easily gain control down here and have the extra attack die when I'm in this breakthrough area, and I might be able to use that to my advantage. And then there's a single tank down over here to worry about, but we'll deal with him later. So I think I'm going to start with one of my strikers, move him forward, and see what kind of effects I can get. So, like I said, you're going to look at these to determine your dice that you get. This guy has 4. And I'm thinking I'm going to put 3 towards movement and then 1 towards intel. So let's do that. Let's grab our movement die, which are already here. Move this out of the way. Yeah, I'm playing Hornet Leader. It's actually just the box that came in. All right, so roll. Hopefully I get a big movement because I want to try to get him far in there. All right, I'll take that. Oh, I thought it was 6. All right, 5, but I'll take 5. 5's good. All right, doesn't matter which one of these I'm taking. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So can I get there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the closest I can get. You know, I'll put him there for now just because I'm trying to keep a barrier there, blocking a line of sight, I mean, so the tank doesn't just come shooting forward and blow up my striker. We will put down a maneuver or dust trail for him. And you can see I've got 5+ because I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes away from where I started. So he's actually got 2 defensive die for him. And I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and drop my infantry as well here. So I have 2 units in control. Your infantry that are being carried can be dropped either by at the start of your activation or at the end of your activation. Another reason I'm doing that is because if their artillery activates, their artillery could, again, target this. The line of sight's not going to matter. And if they blow up my striker, they blow up the infantry that are in it. So I want to take care of them right off the bat. That way I still have a unit here, even if I lose the striker. Now, here's something I could be wrong on. I think I'm right on this one, but I'm not 100% sure. The infantry, I'm going to give them the same dust trail that the striker has. Like I said, I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me. But I'm going with that for now. So they're taken care of, and I have 1 die, like I said, left. This is my intel die. So if I roll this, I get that. Let me get the light out. That is a intel symbol. So however many of those you roll, you get intel dice, which you can use to add a die to an attack or a roll, whatever it is. And those are counter intel symbols, which allow you to remove a die from an enemy's attack. So let's roll that real quick and see what we're going to get here. Turn over to our lovely Marine Corps dice tower. And of course, blank with. That's all right. Now it's back to the AI's turn. All right, so like I said, I'm going to alternate between the ones that I've drawn. I drew for the vehicles last time, so we're going to draw for the Valkyrie this time. The Valkyrie is going to be doing attack closest player. If did not attack, move, what is that? 1 move die towards closest player, attack closest player. He is going to attack because he absolutely is in range. I think he's in range of everything on the board with his big artillery cannon because he's a beast. And this is what I was talking about him gunning down my striker. Although my infantry haven't activated, I need to flip that over because they do not activate when they are deployed. I do get to activate them later. And they, when it comes to the AI targeting, they will target, if there's equal distance like this, they will target the unit that has not activated yet. For any of you tech geeks out there, do me a favor, let me know if you know of any better gyro handheld gimbals for cameras, because mine is starting to make a weird noise, and of course it's well past the return date for Amazon, and I wouldn't mind being able to find one that allows me to hook in my good mic while I'm at it. So any of you tech guys that might know, put it in the comments for me. I appreciate it. All right, so we know they're going to attack this guy. Let me count just to make sure, because he is up here to the north. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, so it's 16 up to my upper guys. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, it's absolutely closer to these guys. So he is going to target the infantry. And the way the AI is going to work when it comes to their weapon systems, what they choose is generally they're going to choose the smallest weapon that will accomplish the mission. The thing is, with his ranges, you see he's got a heavy flame, but it only has a range of 2. It has a attack cannon over on its other arm, only has a range of 7. So the only weapon he has that can actually hit me is his artillery cannon. So he's going to fire it. We did see that it's 13 as its range. So unfortunately, if we were just a couple of hexes farther away, he would be having a penalty to his dice, but he is not going to have a penalty to his dice. That's all right, though. We'll deal with it. So he doesn't get a bonus or a penalty. He is going to apply power. And when it comes to the EI, I almost sound like I was Irish there for a second. Hey, matey. When it comes to the AI applying power, unless it states otherwise, they're going to apply the most power that they can. So 3 power cubes will be applied for this artillery cannon, okay? But once it's activated, it's done for the round, which is actually good. He's using it against my infantry, which is my least favorite stuff, but my infantry is also what's going to try to hold the flanks for me, so I really don't want him killing them. So he gets 3 attack dice to try to kill my infantry. Let's roll for his attack and see what he gets real quick, and then I'll show you how the defense die are going to work. All right, come on, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Oh, this is actually like the worst roll I could have because the friggin' infantry don't have armor. So I was hoping it would roll penetrations, not double hits. So this is very bad for infantry. He got 5. Now, the good part, let me find my infantry card here. Infantry get 2 inherent dice. And you see there on the right for that armor symbol, they do have a 0. So you don't need any penetration symbols, which is why I was hoping they would roll them. Because, let me just show you. Penetration symbols tend to only have like 1 hit with them or no hits with them. Unfortunately, they get criticals. So, no penetration needed, but they get 2 inherent die. And I'm getting 2 dice from the dust trail. So I effectively have 4 defensive die, which are these green ones. But I don't think I can do it unless I roll some kind of shit hot because the defensive die don't have a whole lot of arrows on them, and I would need to block all 5 damage. So let's hope that the dice gods are in my favor on this one. I'll roll 3 since that's all I've got, and then I'll roll 1 more just to see what happens. Ooh, it's close. It is close. We've got 3. If I roll 1 more double, my infantry do survive. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me... I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm blowing on it. I'm hoping for good luck. All right, come on. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Yes! Look at it, baby. Look, there's the double. The infantry survived. They're Marines. They're not little army pokes. They're Marines, and they're living it. Look at it. Look at them. They're sticking. You can bite me, Baba Yaga. You suck. They live. Okay, so I know some of you guys are thinking I'm a corny butthead, but I'm so happy my infantry survived. I know it's just, some little basic infantry down there, but I so thought they were dead, especially when that was 5 hits on them. No penetrations to worry about it. I just knew they were dead. All right. I want to kind of hold my tanks back. Like I said, I don't want to push my Jaeger forward too far until I've got more forces to give them something else to shoot at. Maybe I move my next striker forward, get him up here maybe, or even into this hex, and double things up. Have just a buttload of infantry and strikers there, because the strikers could try to push forward and go after that tank maybe, and then pull up the tank later. Like I said, I think I'm going to hold these forces back as long as possible, activate them later in the turn. I could try to take out their tank before it activates. I might just do that. See, if I could shoot at anything I wanted to shoot at, I'd be shooting at that little guy right there, right? Because that's an artillery piece I could take off the board, but he's camouflaged. He won't be once he fires. I think I'll try to shoot him on the next round. So here's what we're going to do, right? Wait, tanks have 2... okay, here's what I'm thinking. I was thinking I might just shoot at this tank trying to take it out, but you need 2 penetrations. And what I want to do is fire this thing and then use 1 camo die to put him back in camouflage so I don't lose him. So maybe instead I go for one of their northern strikers and hope for the best. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if we can do that. We'll try to aim for one that we haven't hit yet. Let me look at my stats, see if I've got any negative penalties for far range. I do not. Indirect fire, I am good. All right, so I only get 3 activation dice. I wish it was 4. I would do 3 attack and then 1 camouflage, but I think they knew people would do that. So they specifically put 3 so you couldn't do a max attack and basically cloak back up. You can't rogue this shit like World of Warcraft. So yeah, we're going to do 2 attack die and we're going to do 1 cloak die. And this camouflage die is definitely homemade, so don't think of this as final quality. We'll go over how camouflage works here in just a sec. But which one? Oh, I really want a gun for this tank, but I just don't want to risk it because I need 2 penetration. And it's going to be the same for his Valkyrie. So we're going to go after one of his unactivated strikers up here in the corner. So that's going to be my thing. 2 dice for an attack, 1 die for camouflage. We'll explain camouflage here in just a sec. All right, come on. I want 1 penetration and a bunch of damage. That'll work. 2 damage and 1 penetration. So I got what I needed to conduct my attack. Now, he has a dust trail giving him a defense of 1. And you can tell by looking at their card, they don't have any inherent defense die to roll. So the only defensive die he does get right now is the single green. He would have, he would have to roll 2 arrows to block the destruction. I am hoping that it doesn't roll double arrows this time. Blank, that's what I'm talking about. And that's a double hit because it will kill his infantry as well that are still located in their BTR. That's what I'm talking about. We got him taken out. All right. That actually worked pretty well. Now, camouflage die. When you look at these things, you'll see that it has a hex in it and a number. It says 3, 4, and 1. What you're doing with the camouflage die is you roll this and an enemy unit can't be within whatever the hex is that's rolled. As long as you pass that, your unit gets to camouflage up. This is what I want because I do not want him being able to be targeted by the enemy AI because they will target my support units. And since there are no enemy units real close, we don't have to worry about it. And that's 3+, so we are good. I get to leave my camouflage symbol there, and we will flip this over to activated. So now my Paladin has activated. God, I wish I had more of those in this scenario. I just toss in all the artillery as possible. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pause here because I'm about half an hour, and that's about where I like to try to keep my videos. When I pick back up with part 2 and go into the rest of the playthrough, as I go, I'm going to start explaining less and less and less, since you guys will have seen it already by that point, so I don't have to keep elaborating on it, because I want to try to get through as much of the game as possible. I don't know if I'll be able to get through all 6 rounds, just depending on how much damage the units are taking. But the big thing is I really want you guys to see when the Valkyries get involved and really get stuck in there and start taking damages and pieces start getting blown off and systems start going down, stuff like that. So we'll have to see how many rounds it takes for these 2 brawlers to start going at it. All right, but if you guys have any concerns, questions, comments about the game, feel free to put them down below, and I will take and relay that to DVG, or more than likely they'll answer you guys themselves because they are paying attention. All right, that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I'll catch you in the next one.